You know, some games are just different. They're more than 90 minutes on a pitch. And for Cruz Azul, this showdown with Atlas was exactly that. It was about ending a long, frustrating chapter. This wasn't just for 3 points. This was for pride. So let's get into how they finally broke the curse.
Just let that sink in for a moment. Almost 3 entire years. That's how long it had been since Cruz Azul could claim a victory over Atlas. You can just imagine the weight on the players' shoulders, the frustration from the fans. The pressure heading into this one was absolutely massive.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll dive into that long drought and what it really meant. Then, we'll look at the pretty tough conditions they had to play in. After that, we'll zero in on the 2 huge moments that won them the game, see how they sealed the deal, and then ask the big question: is this the start of something new?
To really understand why this win felt so good, you have to understand how bad the struggle was. I mean, this wasn't just a string of unlucky games. For one of Mexico's biggest clubs, this was a massive psychological hurdle they just couldn't seem to get over. Just look at this timeline. 6 straight games without a win against Atlas. We're talking 2 losses, 4 draws, a whole lot of frustration. And it didn't matter who was in charge. Not even a legend like Ricardo Tuca Ferretti could crack it. It took a new coach, Nicolás Larcamón, to finally shatter this streak.
And here's the wild part. This curse, it was like a ghost that followed them everywhere. It started at the iconic Estadio Azteca. It haunted them at the Estadio Ciudad de los Deportes, and it even followed them to the Estadio Olímpico Universitario. So it's almost poetic, right, that they finally broke it in a temporary home stadium all the way in Puebla. But hey, it wasn't just about overcoming history. The team had to fight through some seriously tough conditions on the day of the match, which honestly makes this victory even more impressive. Okay, so just picture this for a second. It's supposed to be a home game for Cruz Azul, but they're not at home. They're in Puebla. The stands are pretty empty, so there's not much of an atmosphere. And the pitch? Oh, the pitch was a total mess. Another game had been played on it less than 24 hours before, and the ball was just bouncing all over the place. And I'm not just being dramatic here. This quote says it all. The state of the field was a huge factor. Players on both sides were misplacing simple passes, they couldn't get any rhythm going. It was one of those games that was just ugly to watch because of the conditions. So despite the bad field and all that pressure, this game was ultimately won in 2 specific moments. This is where Cruz Azul basically said, enough is enough, and took control. Really, their path to victory came down to 2 simple things. First, they got a gift, an absolute present from the opposition. And second, one of their own guys pulled a rabbit out of a hat.
So we're only 8 minutes into the game. 8 minutes. And the Atlas defender, Manuel Capasso, has what you can only call a total brain fade. He makes a lazy pass right into the path of a Cruz Azul attacker. It was a shocking mistake, the kind you just can't afford to make.
And Gabriel Fernández, El Toro, was not about to look a gift horse in the mouth. He pounced on that mistake, drove towards the goal, and just hammered a shot across the keeper and into the net. It was a ruthless, clinical finish that made Atlas pay for their error.
Now, for the second goal, I want you to look at this number, 12. That's the number of games midfielder José Paradela had played for Cruz Azul without scoring a single goal. For an attacking player, that kind of drought really starts to weigh on you. And then boom, 28th minute, that goal drought ends in the most spectacular way possible. Paredes stands over a free kick, and from way out, he unleashes an absolute missile that just flies into the goal. The keeper had no chance. It was a stunner, a moment of pure magic that put Cruz Azul completely in the driver's seat. So, with a comfortable 2-goal lead, the big question was, could they close it out? Could they avoid any late-game drama and finally get that win they'd been chasing for so long?
Well, they answered that question with a resounding yes. The second half was a masterclass in game management. Cruz Azul just kept the ball, passed it around, and completely sucked the life out of any potential comeback from Atlas. It was smart, it was professional, and it was exactly what they needed to do.
And when that final whistle blew, the scoreboard said it all. 2-0. A clean, convincing victory. The curse smashed. Done. Over. So you have to ask, what does a win like this really mean? I mean, is it just one game in a long season? Or could this be something more? A real turning point for Cruz Azul under their new manager. Think about it. Nicolás Larcamón did something that other very good coaches couldn't. He broke this mental block.
By getting this win, he sent a signal to his players and to the whole league that maybe, just maybe, things are going to be different from now on. So let's wrap up with the big takeaways. First and foremost, that 6-game winless streak against Atlas is history. Second, they proved they could win ugly, in really tough conditions. And third, they were sharp when it counted, punishing mistakes and creating magic. We even saw a new signing, Agustín Palavecino, get his first start. All signs are pointing up. So that leaves us with the million-dollar question. For a club nicknamed The Machine, a team that so often seems to get in its own way, is this the win that finally gets all the parts moving together? Is this the moment that changes everything? Only time will tell, but for the first time in a long time against Atlas, the future looks bright.